It's Klayton, aka Celldweller, and I am here in collaboration with Vintage King Audio to talk to you today about the Intellijel Cylonix Rainmaker. The Rainmaker is a 16-tap stereo spectral delay and comb resonator. It runs at a 96 kHz sampling rate with 32-bit internal processing. Your filters self-oscillate and can be tracked with 1 volt per octave. There are a lot of knobs and buttons on this, which makes it look very overwhelming from the outside, but a lot of these buttons are simply shortcuts to your menu items. So it's quick to jump around, and there's actually not a lot of menu diving at all. You've got 2 discrete sections here. You've got your delay section, which is here, and your comb resonator section, which is here. And you can run them in different configurations. Delay before the comb, comb before the delay, or you can run them as dual mono, one side being your delay and the other side being your comb resonator. In your delay section, you have your standard feedback of your delay time, your tone of your feedback, or the actual color of the taps, and you can pitch shift right here. You've got a global pitch shift of those taps. A lot of this can be influenced by voltages. Here with these inputs, you've got attenuators to control how much of your external voltage is affecting your parameter. So I set up a very simple patch that is predictable and repeats over and over again so you can tell exactly what's going on. I'm going to leave all the guesswork out of it. I've got the Macbeth Micromac R being sequenced by Renee, and that is being fed directly into the Rainmaker. I've got this externally clocked right now, but there is also a tap tempo here so you can set your own tempo and the Rainmaker will follow it. And there's also a clock output that will follow that tempo, which is great because you can clock other things in your system with that clock output. So since there are multiple sections here, you've got your delay section and you've got your comb resonator section. Let's listen to just the delay section. I've got a sequence running that's 100% dry, and I'm going to bring the wet dry knob up and you'll hear the effect come in from the delay. So just a basic delay pattern there. Let's jump in and see the other cool things you can do with this module. So let's go first into the tap mode. And in tap mode, you can select one of 16 different taps and affect each tap individually. So here I'm going to select tap 1, and let's go down to our tap edit section here. When you select the mute, you have the ability to mute your different taps. There's only 2 taps on right now, which are 2 and 4, indicated by these 2 lights here. So if I hit 2 and hit 4, I just muted both taps, and I'm essentially listening to a dry signal. So let's put those back in. And because there are no other taps on, the mutes don't really relate to anything. But if we go to level, let's say we want to turn up the level of tap 1, select 1, use your encoder, and there's the level of tap 1. Let's go to tap 3. There's tap 3, tap 5. So you have up to 16 taps that you can do this with. And you can affect each tap separately with a filter type, resonance and Q setting, pan, and level, which, as you can see already, makes this thing massively powerful and a programmer's dream. Here are your filter settings, and you would want to pick a type first. So this patch has no filter setup, so your Q and cut values won't do anything until you actually pick a filter type. So I can select a filter type for band 4. Then I can set the cut frequency and the Q for that. You've got 16 taps which you can pitch individually. So I can say I want to take tap 4 and I want to pitch that up an octave. I want to go to tap 2 here and pitch that down an octave. You've got a max of 15 semitones up and 16 semitones down that you can pitch each individual tap to. Okay, so we've got that going. Let's go back to edit mode and look at these different edit settings. Again, all these buttons correlate to menu items, so clicking those will simply dial up your menu item without you having to do any menu diving directly. So here is our tap grid, and by changing that, you'll hear how that actually affects the delay times. I think Giorgio Moroder would love this setting. By selecting stack, you can stack the delays differently. You've got clock settings here. Again, I'm externally clocking, so this value is automatically being determined by my incoming clock. But you can also change the delay, which will be a division of your incoming clock. So your time mod section here controls the wave shape, level, and rate of the rhythm delay time modulation LFO. You have two modulation knobs here that are also CV controllable, but you can assign them to various parameters. By selecting these white buttons next to each modulation knob, you can select what that modulation knob does. So now let's bypass the delay section and let's listen to the comb resonator. We do that by bypassing the delay section there and unbypassing the comb resonator section with the same exact sequence. So immediately it sounds very similar, but we haven't actually dove into any of the menu items yet, so let's check that out. You've got different comb patterns here, and you can hear how that radically changes the sound of your resonator. You've got a size modulator section here, and you have different controls over that. You can control the number of taps in your comb, which you'll hear will certainly affect your sound. You can change your division and size, although I can't because I'm externally clocking. This trigger button is great because you can assign it to a number of different parameters and just hit that during a performance or while you're producing and have something happen, or you can send a ping into that to activate it as well, so it's completely and discreetly clocked with everything else in your system. So I went into the settings, and for instance, I have it reversing the delay tap, so you'll hear what that sounds like every time I hit that trigger button. So now let's take a listen to actually using the delay and the comb resonator together, which you can do by unbypassing the delay section. Thanks for sticking all the way through this episode of Celldweller Production. As you can see, the Rainmaker is pretty complex, and I didn't nearly have enough time to dive into how complicated you can get with this, but trust me, it sounds great. You heard the examples for yourself. If you want to get one, head over to vintageking.com so they can get one to you, and you can lose lots of hours of your life playing with this. There's lots more of this kind of content coming to my channel, so subscribe to my channel or save this playlist so you don't miss out on a thing. And until next time, this is Klayton, aka Celldweller, signing off.